Jordan Petrovics from the town of Golden has joined me again. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And I love that you want to put this on video. It means I have to shower today.
Well, we're working on making it an engaging process, so not only spending some time with you, we're also posting this on our Facebook channels as well. So.
Yeah, that's good. Well, thank you so much for coming in. There was a council meeting on the 19th. It was an afternoon meeting, so I was unable to attend. So what were the big things that happened?
Pretty busy agenda, actually. Lots of stuff on the go. We started out with a couple delegations. We had Colleen Palumbo from the Golden Historical Society in. She was doing a presentation on the upcoming 100th anniversary of the First World War.
Wow! And what happened there?
It was an interesting presentation. She outlined a lot of information about the people who lived in the area, who were off defending at the First World War, and then started talking about the cenotaph in town.
And fun fact about the cenotaph,
yes.
It was built in 1927.
Yeah.
I learned that. That's a long time ago.
Definitely. It was built back in 1927 to honor the First World War. After the Second World War, there were some upgrades made to it to put some additional name plaques on it. So in the end of her presentation, on behalf of the Historical Society and the Legion, they were asking for the town to look at updating the plaque with the names of all the individuals, because the information has obviously changed over in different track over the years.
Right, yeah.
Update all the names of people who lived in the area, and potentially plant poppies within the town flower beds.
Hey, that's pretty neat.
So that's going to be referred to the budget process, but that's on council's radar.
That's a pretty nice request.
Yeah.
And Bear Aware.
Bear Aware. So the annual Bear Aware presentation, the organization, of course, now called Wild Safe BC. They were in to do a presentation talking about bear awareness in our area and highlighted some of the happenings over the hibernation prep season.
And so there, he probably gave a few statistics. What were like the stats like in 2012, 2013?
Yeah, some interesting stats. The organization and the efforts from the community are really doing a good job. In 2012, 13 bears were destroyed in the area due to getting into garbage and too many attractions. In 2013, so this past year, only 6 bears were put down. Well, in 2012, there's 13 bears.
Wow, so cut down by 50%.
Yeah, it's pretty significant improvement on that front.
All right. So any correspondence happening?
On the correspondence side, the biggest thing the mayor did kind of confirm all the processes are now officially in place around getting the funding for Kicking Horse Culture to keep their funding going for another year. She was at a meeting with the regional district.
All right. And there were some staff reports that, this was a question that came up. I'm just kind of reading this now. What does council get paid?
That was the topic of a staff report from the CAO. And it was that time of year again to table what council gets paid and ultimately have council wrestle around with that.
This is a big question for a lot of people, so.
It is, and it's, in the end of the day, when we compare with where we're at in different communities and different places across the province, in the size of community we have, Golden's councillors really get paid in the middle of the road.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. They don't really make a lot of money. It's more of a volunteer basis, if you ask me.
It is, but the council did, note that having the funding available for those running businesses and different individuals involved, there needs to be some kind of funding in order to keep a broad range of people engaged, so that we don't just have one demographic of people expressing interest to become councillors.
Right. Okay, so moving on to the budget and reserve resolutions.
Yeah, lots of housekeeping reports in the budget and resolution side of things. The chief financial officer put up about 3 different reports to council going over operation and capital expenditures and also amending the budget as it is. One of the councillors did comment that it looks like we're right on track with our budget right now, which we are, and we're geared up to be having a small surplus at the end of the year. So great shape on that stand.
Very good shape. And the 2013 financial reports were in the third quarter, I guess, or the third quarter just happened.
So the financial department does report on all quarters now, or all halfway through the year, third quarter and fourth quarter. So council does get updates on where we're at with their spending, and all is looking well.
All right, and then there was another report. There was a lot of reports going on the Multi-Material BC recycling program.
Right, yeah, recycling program. So there's a new provincially authorized organization, or a non-for-profit organization mandated by the Ministry of Environment called Multi-Material BC. This organization is out there to look after what happens after the curbside pickup process of the recycling program. So we're going to basically at the end of this report, council authorized staff to start signing an agreement and starting to work with Multi-Material BC to become the kind a service provider for the recycling side of things.
So what happens to VP Waste then?
On the VP Waste side of things, they would potentially become a subcontractor, and they would still, basically to the users, it would be the same program. Their trucks would still be coming around and picking up the bins and still working on that side of things. After they collect the material, there would be changes in terms of where the material goes from there.
All right, and last one, I guess. What's up with there's this thing that I at the last council meeting they were talking about asset management. So what's up with asset management and the water sewer roads?
So lots of stuff going on that front right now. The asset management process has been going on for quite a few years, identifying all the different assets we have in the community, from buildings, water, sewer, roads, infrastructure, looking at where it is and staging how long it'll actually last. There's some granting opportunities coming up with the federal government in the next year or so that the town can take advantage of, specifically to replace water, sewer, and road-based infrastructure. So this is a very significant granting opportunity that's coming up. We want to be doing our best to be ahead of the gate and get the opportunity to take advantage of this granting opportunity.
Awesome. And do we borrow or not borrow? That's kind of the big question, right?
Really, it is. It is the big question right now, and there's going to be a lot more information coming out to the public in the months to come. But the question is, do we look at going after a borrowing opportunity to have funding we can access so we can leverage the granting? Most of your granting programs are based on a 1/3 municipal, 2/3 federal, provincial-based funding mechanism. So do we look at going after granting opportunities so we can keep running our programs as they are? Or do we look at making changes within our internal structure to find that funding within our existing tax base? So this is going to be an interesting one for the public to debate, and there'll be lots of stuff coming up from council.
Tough decisions to make.
Definitely.
And finally, a DVP, you say?
A DVP, Development Variance Permit.
That's
so
it, okay.
Council approved a Development Variance Permit on 13th Street for an individual that is looking at building a house and subdividing the lot. In the end, council approved that, but it's outside of the realm of our existing zoning bylaw, so that kind of stuff has to go through council.
Okay.
And that was our meeting.
Wow, we covered pretty much everything. We've encompassed as much as we can
Yep.
at what happened at council on the 19th. Well, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thanks so much. Look forward to doing more of these.
All right, good.